Remember to like and subscribe. Today we're going to do a deep dive into defensive basketball drills. We've got excerpts from 101 defensive basketball drills.
Yeah.
So get ready to unearth some gems with us.
Sounds good.
Whether you're a coach, a player, or just a fan, there's something here for everyone.
Yeah, I think what's really cool about this book is how much it emphasizes the fundamentals. Like, even before you think about the ball or an opponent.
Oh, absolutely. It starts with drills like slow-mo and no hands, which, might seem basic at first,
Right.
but they really highlight how crucial proper stance and footwork are for everything else on defense.
Yeah, slow-mo really forces players to break down their movements and focus on that low balance stance while they're moving. It's all about building that muscle memory so it becomes second nature.
Right.
And then no hands, well, that's pretty self-explanatory. You're not allowed to use your hands.
Right.
It takes away that temptation to reach, to grab. You have to rely on your feet to stay in front of the offensive player.
So you're really getting those fundamentals down. For someone who might be thinking, this is too easy, what are the common mistakes you see players make when they haven't mastered these fundamentals?
Oh, I mean, tons of things. Standing up too tall, which makes it easy for the offensive player to just blow right by you. Reaching and fouling instead of moving their feet. Crossing their feet, which throws off their balance.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many points get scored simply because defenders don't have that solid foundation.
It's a good reminder that even pros are constantly working on those seemingly basic drills.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so you've nailed your stance and footwork. Then the book throws a curveball with the held together by a thread drill.
I love this one.
Literally tying a defender to the offensive player. That's got to be intense.
It's such a great way to force that tight, suffocating defense you need against shifty ball handlers. Imagine guarding a lightning-fast point guard, someone who can change direction instantly. If you give them even a little bit of space, they're going to exploit it. This drill really ingrains the importance of staying close and reacting instantly.
Oh, yeah. I can see how that translates to real game situations. So it's not just about physically being close, it's also that anticipation.
Absolutely. Held together by a thread, it kind of exaggerates that closeness.
Right.
But it teaches you to feel those subtle cues in the offensive player's movement, like their weight shift or their shoulder dip. And over time, you start to anticipate their next move before they even make it.
Wow. So we've got that individual defensive stance. We've got that close-up one-on-one defense. But what happens when the game shifts to a fast break?
That's where transition defense comes in, and the book has a whole chapter dedicated to it.
Okay.
It's all about that split second after a turnover or a rebound, the safety first drill, for example. It really shows how even a moment of delay in getting back on defense can create a 2-on-1 advantage for the offense.
Yeah, 2-on-1, never a good situation to be in.
No, not at all.
But instead of sprinting back blindly, what kind of strategic positioning does safety first emphasize?
So it highlights the importance of that first defender back getting into position to slow down the ball handler. You're not necessarily trying to steal the ball right away, but you're buying time for your teammates to get back and set up.
Right.
It's about preventing those easy layups and open threes that happen when you have disorganized transition defense.
So controlled chaos.
Exactly. You're hustling, but you're thinking ahead.
I bet you've seen tons of examples where transition defense or the lack of it really made all the difference.
Oh, absolutely. You think about the Showtime Lakers, masters of pushing the pace.
Oh, yeah.
Any team that was slow getting back, they punished them. Or more recently, you've got the Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry leading those lightning fast breaks. Transition D, or the lack of it, can change the entire momentum of the game.
It's amazing how these drills can highlight those bigger strategic concepts. So far, we've talked about individual defense, that tight pressure, and transition D. Now let's get into the two main defensive schemes, man-to-man and zone.
This is where you really see the different mindsets needed for each approach. Man-to-man, you're locked onto your player. Protect the lane is a good example, really focuses on denying penetration to the basket.
So if man-to-man is like sticking to your player like glue, how would you describe the philosophy behind a zone?
Zone is more about guarding an area of the court. You're responsible for anyone entering your zone, so it requires a different kind of awareness. You're focusing on ball movement and rotations, not just your matchup.
Sounds like a lot more communication and teamwork in a zone then.
Exactly. Drills like rotate and trap, teach players how to close gaps, double team the ball handler, and anticipate passing lanes. It's like this constantly shifting puzzle
Right, you need to react quickly and communicate.
all the time.
It's interesting how these drills develop not just physical skills, but also mental and strategic aspects of defense. From fundamentals to transition D to man-to-man and zone. This book covers it all,
And we haven't even touched on rebounding yet.
which is another huge part of defense.
Absolutely.
And we will in just a bit. But first, we're going to take a quick break. We're back and ready to tackle rebounding. It can really make or break a game.
You know, rebounding, it's often seen as just about height and athleticism.
Right.
But this book really highlights how important technique and mental focus are, too.
That mental focus part is fascinating to me. You've got all those bodies flying around, the ball bouncing everywhere. How do you even train for that kind of chaos?
Well, that's where drills like numbers game come in.
Okay.
It's not just boxing out and grabbing the board. It's about knowing where everyone is on the court. You know, tracking the ball, making split-second decisions. In this drill, defenders actually have to call out numbers while boxing out
Wow.
to simulate those distractions you get in a real game.
I'm trying to picture that. Trying to box out while someone's yelling numbers at me.
It definitely adds a challenge. Forces players to stay focused in all that chaos, which is key for rebounding. You can't just rely on instinct. You have to read the play, anticipate where that ball's going to land, and make sure you're in the right position.
So it's as much a mental workout as a physical one.
Oh, absolutely.
And the book doesn't stop at securing the rebound. It also talks about those saving the ball drills. You know, where a player might tip the ball back inbounds, even when it seems like a lost cause.
Those are the plays that get the team fired up, totally swing the momentum,
Yeah.
that never give up attitude, turning a potential turnover into another possession.
It's about hustle and determination.
Ex-
Those moments where a player dives out of bounds, somehow tips the ball back in, their team ends up scoring. It's amazing how these drills connect to those high-pressure moments. It's not just technique, it's that heart, that grit. Now, we could spend all day breaking down each drill, but it's clear this book really emphasizes specificity. It seems like it has drills for every defensive scenario you could imagine.
What's impressive is how they break it all down. Like they're saying, okay, what specific challenges do you face on defense? And then they give you drills tailored for those situations.
Yeah, it's like, how can we address that through a drill? One that caught my eye was draw the foul drill. It focuses on drawing a charge legally, which can be a game changer.
Yeah, it's a skill that often gets overlooked, but it's so valuable. Draw the foul drill teaches you to position yourself to take that charge without fouling, which is a tough balance.
It's about playing smart, not just hard. So we've covered fundamentals, transition D, man-to-man zone, rebounding, and even how to draw fouls legally. But the book doesn't stop there. What other specialized drills stood out to you?
Well, there's a whole section on defending the post, which is crucial for shutting down opposing big men.
Right.
A drill like deny the center focuses on fronting the post player, denying the entry pass, make it tough for the offense to even get the ball inside.
It's disrupting the game plan before it even starts. I like that proactive approach. I'm guessing there are also zone-specific drills, highlighting those rotations and traps we discussed earlier.
Oh, absolutely. Defending the baseline attack is a great example. It walks you through those rotations you need to shut down a player who's driven baseline in a zone.
So the offensive players got the ball in the corner. They're looking for options. What happens next?
The defenders have to react fast. One defender might trap the ball handler, cutting off the drive, while others rotate to cover the open players in passing lanes. It's all about coordination, communication, and timing.
If one player's out of sync, the whole defense could crumble.
Exactly. Zone defense is all about trust and anticipation. Each player has to know their role, understand those rotations, and react to whatever happens.
What I love about this book is it doesn't just throw drills at you. It explains the why. It connects the drills to real game situations.
The authors really emphasize both technical and the strategic. They explain how each drill helps develop instincts and reactions that you need in a real game.
So it's like, here's the drill, here's why it matters, and here's how it makes you a better defender.
Have you ever had that moment in a game where a drill suddenly clicked and you thought, aha, that's why we do this?
Oh yeah, countless times. I remember one game, I was guarding this player who just loved to drive baseline. We'd spent so much time on that defending the baseline attack drill, and in this game, it all just clicked.
Yeah.
Me and my teammates, we rotated perfectly, trapped the ball handler in the corner, forced a turnover. It was like textbook straight from the drill. It felt amazing to see it work.
I bet. That feeling of seeing your hard work pay off on the court, that must be so rewarding. It proves those drills aren't just theory, they really work. Exactly. And it shows how important it is to practice with focus, really pay attention. When you understand the why behind a drill, you put in more effort. And that's what leads to real improvement.
It's like the difference between going through the motions and really understanding what you're doing.
Exactly.
That deeper level of engagement makes all the difference. Well, this has been an awesome journey through the world of defensive basketball drills. And 101 Defensive Basketball Drills has been a great guide.
What I really like about this book is it reminds you that defense is just as important as offense, maybe even more so.
Right.
A strong defense wins championships.
Absolutely. You can't win if you can't stop the other team from scoring. We've covered everything from those basic fundamentals to zone rotations, the mental toughness you need for rebounding. Whether you're a coach, a player, or just a fan, I hope this deep dive gave you some good insights, maybe even some inspiration. Remember to like and subscribe. And let us know in the comments, what was your biggest takeaway from all of this? What stuck with you?